Hi, my name's Johnny, and today we are looking at the BBE Sonic Stomp. So this video is going to be a little bit different in that I'm not going to have an intro or an outro like we normally would when demoing a product, just because this doesn't really have a sound. This pedal is all about enhancing an existing sound. So I thought it'd be a bit of a waste of time to kind of show it in those contexts when you don't know what it's like before. But we'll do an A and B on and off test with a mix later on in the video. Oops. BBE are well known for their sonic maximizers, things like compressors, and lots of outboard gear that you would find in a professional studio. And in this professional studio, you also find it. I use the word studio very loosely when describing my home setup. BBE Sonic Stomp is BBE's mini version of their classic sonic maximizer. You can get them in a rack form, which have got a couple of more features, and then you get the pedal version and now the mini pedal version as well. What is a sonic maximizer? If you think of sonic as in the sound and maximizer as in enhancing the sound, that's what it does. It's enhancing the sound, giving more clarity to the highs and the lows, widening up those frequencies so that you can just hear them clearer and get more defined notes. There are loads of videos online describing what these do specifically and what they're doing to the frequencies. I am terrible at that kind of thing. Now, this pedal is nothing new, it's been around for a long time, but I thought I would just share with you how I use this pedal, and as I like to call it, my little secret weapon on my pedal board. So the unit itself is a really small casing, really high quality. I've had no issues with it being on my board, being at gigs and me just hitting it on when I need to. No issues with the build quality whatsoever. It's really simple. We've got two stacked knobs on there, one for the low contour, which you think about it as just being your low end, and then you've got a process knob on top. Apparently acts like the high contour. On the rack mount version, you've got the process separate from the high contour, so I'm not totally sure. In basic terms, the bottom one controls the low end and the top one controls the high end. Pretty simple. I was checking out a few forums before making this video and it has been described as the lazy EQ, and I think that just makes so much sense because, yeah, it is just that. If I want a little bit more presence, instead of messing around with my settings and my presets, I just turn this up a little bit. You know, if I want a bit more clarity in that low end, I'll just whack it up a little bit without overloading the signal too much. So I know what you're thinking. Shut up and just play the damn thing. So let's have a listen to it now. So let me know down below what your thoughts are about this pedal. Now, I was using a Sterling Ray 24CA for this. That bass is really high clarity and high output already, so for this to be able to expand that and add even more, it just shows that this pedal is really effective at doing that. But does it sound as good as just turning up the presence or the treble or the bass on the amp? Are you overloading the EQ by doing this? I think I did prefer the sound when I was increasing the process on the BBE compared to just upping the treble on the amp when I did that comparison. But with a price tag of around £99 new, is it really worth it? I mean, if you can afford to have this luxury, then yeah, like it's a great tool, but I'm having trouble saying that it's absolutely worth that amount of money, just because for bass anyway, it's really just adding a tiny bit of clarity really that's a usable sound. I only ever use this with the low on 12 o'clock, if not a tiny bit boosted, and then the process between 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock, just a tiny little boost. When you are upping that process knob, it is a very sensitive knob. So you've got to be careful with how much you're boosting it, because it can be too much, especially with a high output bass such as the Ray 24CA that I was using. But why didn't you use like a different bass for that then? Well, they've all got pretty new strings on there, and I thought it'd be a bit of a silly idea to show off a bass that's got new strings. Anyway, maybe we'll do another video on it in the future comparing with some different basses. Leave a like on this video and maybe we'll delve into some other basses and do a comparison to see how it affects a P bass or a jazz bass, things like that. So for bass, it's a pretty good tool. Where I think this pedal really shines is with things like guitar. As a bass player that demos just using a singular guitar that I have, I definitely don't often get new strings like I do for my basses. I definitely neglect my guitar a little bit in that regard. So this is a brilliant tool for my board in recording guitars. It's really good for upping a little bit of clarity and just opening up that high end and make it sound a little bit more glassy, because I really like that kind of tone. Go and check out the Andertons video that Danish Pete did demoing this pedal, because I think it really shines there. And when he was upping the low contour, it's not too boomy, and where it's not as boomy as turning up the bass on your bass amp, you don't want to be creeping past the kind of 3 o'clock range on this pedal when you're using it for bass, I don't think. When you're working with those lower frequencies, it's kind of limiting the use of this pedal a little bit. I think that's all I have to say. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this pedal. Is it worth it? Do you have one? What do you use it for? It's got a plethora of uses, and I'm just using it for a very small one. Will it be staying on my board? Yeah, I think so. I've got it. Like, why not? I think that's everything. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.